And there we are. Hey, good morning to you. Welcome. We're live again at Chick-fil-A. That was yesterday. The Champion Chevrolet. It's been that kind of week, folks. So,
Woo!
good morning to you. We went from chicken to Chevrolets. We're live again here at Champion Chevrolet in the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City, again on this Thursday. And man, we're having a big time already. Been hanging with Andy and Tim, and they're both back in town. And they got a little R&R got away, recharge the batteries. And so here we be having a big time. We are loaded for bear again today. We will hear from legendary Milligan coach Phil Worrell's going to stop by and talk a little basketball in a few minutes. Hank Brown, it's the granddaddy of them all, the Crazy H Road Race to help kick off Fun Fest, which starts tomorrow in Kingsport. And so we'll be there emceeing that event on Saturday night. Hank's going to join us by phone coming up here in a little while. Carmichael joins us as always. Also Kevin Harmon, UP Sports Update, and of course my man's going to be with us here in just a second, Andy Dietrich. Countdowns today. This is show number 556. Again, our countdown to the race from 34 days away. The NOH 200, the Lucius Beans 150, and the Wednesday night doubleheader. We are 36 days out from the Food City 300. Tickets are, this is not like folks. They are flat selling tickets. Bristol Motor Speedway, 423 Bristol, BristolTix.com, or 1-866-415-4158. They're selling the tickets. I can't emphasize that enough. So if you wait till August the 10th, and I'll get my tickets. You may or may not, because I'm telling you, Dale Jr.'s already said he'll be there for both races: the Friday night race, the Food City 300, and the Bass Pro Shopping NRA night race coming up on Saturday. The granddaddy of them all, the America's night race that you see right there. So Bass Pro Shopping, NRA night race. The tickets are moving. We're gonna have it on tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow Food City on Euclid Avenue at Bristol, the Food City Friday. Also, you're 37 days out, obviously, from the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. This is show number 556. One birthday of note today. Birthday boy greetings going out to Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, having a birthday today. 75 years young today. That's who's having birthdays again on this Thursday. What is July the 13th, 2017. We got stories coming up about NASCAR. We got some more news coming out of NASCAR. NFL news. Kirk Cousins, the Washington Redskins. It's about to be a rich quarterback, maybe richer than Derek Carr of the Raiders. Also got the baseball going to crank back up in the second half of the season tomorrow. So lots going on. A local high school coach steps down. We'll tell you who it is and what sport and all that coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, let's do the webcam, get it rolling here. That means we got to bring him in. He will be back later on our again, Mama, and so back in the saddle. Have a big time. And there he is, Andy Dietrich, the champion co-owner. Welcome back. Welcome.
You don't sing. Don't sing. You've gotten more high tech since last time I was. I mean, I noticed you were on camera here, and then you flip a button, and we're up here, and you don't have to reach over. Man, golly, I'm impressed. I need to go away more often. Come back, you got more sponsors stuff laying out here on the table. I mean, this is big time. You know, we have a Chick-fil-A now here in the store. I've learned since I've been gone.
There you go. Now, I got to tell you, while you were gone, Cletus, now, when he found out today you were coming back to do the show because you're back in town off of your arm, he said, "Gosh, I want to do it again." And then Kristen said, "Gosh, can we just not share our time with Andy's?" So, you made a creative monster.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Well, that's why I asked Cletus. I was a little worried when I came in this morning. I said, "Did you set the bar up here?" You know, I was down here probably before when I left, and you've probably put it up here. This is going to be a ratings plunge today with me back on here. I mean,
Swell. You're doing it. But he's back. Now, you and Mama got away from R&R, which I find awesome. And you said good way to recharge your batteries. You went to, let's see, tell me what you went to.
we went to Rome, Tuscany, and while we were in Tuscany, we visited Pisa. So we saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Back up when I was in Rome, I went to the Vatican, Sistine Chapel. It's incredible. I've been there before, but it's breathtaking every time you go, and just to look up and look at where Leonardo or Michelangelo, Michelangelo. I learned where all these people are buried over there, and learned all about them. But Michelangelo spent years doing the roof in the Sistine Chapel, and I didn't, every little section tells a story, and you can actually look it up online, and you can see the whole picture, but it's broken out in what each thing, the story in each picture is. So you can have that and then look up and see the whole story of the Bible is up there, and it is really neat. But then, but we saw Leaning Tower of Pisa, went to Florence, Tuscany, went to a bunch of little small hilltop towns while we were there that had been, garrisons, or what you call, just hilltop towns. They put them up there. They're like bases, forts on top, and they made little cities out of them, and now they're thriving cities today, and it's fun seeing that. And we also went, let's see, what else did we do? Toward the end of the trip, we left and went to Switzerland and did Lucerne, Switzerland, and went up on Mount Pilatus, 6,280 feet above sea level. So yeah, it's in the Swiss Alps. So it went from 92 degrees down on the bottom to 58 degrees at the top, and then off in the distance you can see snow on the Swiss Alps. So it's you go over there, and you see a lot of things and learn a lot of great things, but there's so many things that we take for granted here, and you appreciate so much more. Not the people over there, they're used to their way of life, but we're used to our way of life. So I like the way we live over here versus some of the things they do. Some things are really different. You're scratching your head, well, why do they do this? And what my favorite thing though is the food in Italy. I mean, you come back here, it's hard to find an Italian restaurant that even comes close. Not knocking, we have really good Italian restaurants, but you go over there and you cut into a buffalo mozzarella cheese ball, and you can get them here, but you cut them to there and they just ooze, and it's just so good. And I'll order that here or something, and I'll cut into it anticipating, and you're a little disappointed after you've been over there and spoiled a little bit. Yes. Yep. It was funny. I was texting, and I was 6 hour time difference from here in Tennessee, Johnson City, and I was texting him, and he was 6 hours the other way, so we were 12 hours difference. So I texted him at 7 o'clock at night over there, and it was 7 in the morning in Hawaii. That was really cool. So basically a half a day difference, and but yes, that's very rare. In the 10 years we've been here, we've not gone in different directions at the same time. We've maybe had 2 or 3 days when both of us are not here, but usually you can always catch us here. But this trip I had, that was the week it had to go, and the trip he had, that was the week, and we just said cross our fingers, and we left in good hands, and Cletus and the gang and everybody, Mike Cole, and everybody stepped up and did a phenomenal job. I got to show y'all one picture. And it's not of me either, so you'll be thankful. Coming up from Phil Worrell, Hank Brown's going to join us again from Crazy H Road Race coming up on Saturday night. Fun Fest. Show that. That's Haley holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Everybody has to do these. A little bit of a glare, but yeah, see how you got to pose like you're pushing it back up. Yeah. Yeah, she's a very talented lady. Yep. Good stuff. So they're back, and we're glad they're back. Glad they got a chance to get away. And this young man again over the 4th of July, he was one happy camper from Whitesburg, Tennessee. Is that right? Yes, he won a Sonic from the Pepsi fireworks. Yes, he poured the Sierra Mist out of a Pepsi can. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, Cletus was there for it. He said it was interesting because they have 15 finalists get up on the stage, and one person didn't even come, so they only had 14. And then the guy that said that won it, he almost decided not to come because it was a long ways for him to come. They almost decided nah, and they did go, and they won the car. Sonic LS Bryce McAdoo from Championship Lake. All right, I'm more excited about the race.
Indiana Jones having a birthday today?
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Was that Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
Good movie. I mean, if it's sci-fi, never seen Star Wars, Star Trek, none of that stuff.
He did Star Wars before Indiana Jones. That set him off into
Who does the Star
that's Spock.
Trek? Pointed ears.
Yes.
Give me Joes and Bills all day long. So anyway, here's the birthday 75. The race is almost here. 34 days out.
Some campgrounds are already selling out.
Yes, campground.
That's a big sign. Yes. Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, because some of the campgrounds are selling out. I'm telling you, it's not just hype. I keep saying it every day on the show. But it is, this is going to be the race because Junior's come for the last two times. And there's a lot of parity this year in the Cup Series, a lot of different winners on the track, and they're kind of honing in their skills to get ready for the chase. And so it's going to be a big race. And so it really is. Of course, championship night right smack dab in the middle of it. Chevrolet is the official Bristol Motor Speedway champion. You guys, you have the ride of a lifetime. You take a lot of trucks up there.
Yeah, well, we've got display vehicles up there. We have trucks that we partner with the other Chevrolet dealers in the area, and they do the driver introductions. This last race, we were able to. Each dealer was able to pick several people in the community that they wanted. They felt like they thought it'd be a really good thing for them to get to ride in that truck when there was a driver in the back and go around that track with everybody sitting there in the stands. And we got to pick people that we thought would be a good fit. You know, if it was somebody that needed something like that, needed to pick me up, you know, somebody that had some ill fortune or somebody had been sick or special needs, and it was a really good deal, and a lot of people had a lot of fun with that. And
We are live at Champion Chevrolet. We're talking to the co-owner of Champion, Mr. Patrick Timms over there. Of course, he shot his new TV commercial too, right?
yes, he shot it Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, Tuesday night.
TV commercial. I think I'm gonna start playing the commercial here too. I think new video.
Yeah,
I think we're stepping up.
I can't keep up.
Start playing Tim's TV commercial.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, got some good deals coming up. It's model year closeout at Champion Chevrolet, the number one Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Chevys from Memphis to Mountain City than these folks out here. Bristol Motor Mile here in Johnson City. So,
You know, I look at this number, and we have over 600 new Chevrolets in the stock on the ground. 600 here. I mean, if you're looking for something, we've more than likely got it. And several of them, yes. And then, like I've told you before, I'm not in love with any of them. We'll make you a great deal. We already have great deals. If you look at championjc.com, our website, we already have them marked down on there with the current incentives attached to our sale prices. So check that out. You know, before you come in, give us a buzz if you got a question, or you can text us. You can chat with us online. But right now we've got 11 grand off double and crew cab LTs, Silverado 2017 models. I've got $10,000 off a new 2017 2500 LT off MSRP, a new 2017 Trax $5,000 off MSRP, a new 2017 Traverse LT 18% off MSRP. Some of the discounts on those are, you know, you're getting over $6,000 on a new 2017 Traverse with that deal. New 2017 Sonic, 25% off MSRP. So it's model year and closeout. We're just knocking on the door of fall and winter right here with model year changeovers. I've just got something else too. It's got the first three 2018 new body style Traverses in this morning. They're out back right now. I just saw them when I came in this morning. First thing, just got off the truck, but that's the brand new, totally new. Doesn't even look like the 2017 out here. So it's a total new inside and out. It looks phenomenal. I saw it at Atlanta Motor Speedway a couple months ago when I went, and it's a great car. Got to drive it. It's beautiful. Drives great. Lots of power. Great fuel economy.
tell me about before I let you go. You got an engagement of your worlds behind you. You're coming to talk a little hoops. So tell me about the tracks, the selling points of the 2017 tracks. $5,000 off MSRP. And what's the selling point of the tracks?
It is the smallest SUV that we sell. So if you want an SUV that it either comes in front wheel drive or all wheel drive, so you have that option, you can buy one or the other. It's an SUV we can sell under $20,000. And it's a 4-cylinder engine that's going to get right at close to 30 miles per gallon or a little bit over, depending on if you go with the front wheel drive or the all wheel drive vehicle. It's got great safety ratings, tons of different colors to choose from, interior complements to choose from, different options. So if you want something under $20,000, it gets great fuel economy. It's also an SUV, and it's small, easy to get around in, but it can haul, like me, I'm 6'1", you're a tall guy, you can fit comfortably in it. So Traverse is you got the Trax, then the Equinox, then the Traverse. And the Traverse is the first SUV before you get to the Tahoe and Suburban that actually has 3 rows of seats. So it's a step down if you want to drive something that's a little lower to the ground. You don't want something that sits up as high as the Tahoe or Suburban. This is for you. It's a crossover. So, and it can seat 7 people in it.
It's 18% off MSRP right now this month here at Champion Chevrolet, the Bristol Motor Mile here in Johnson City. I'm going to let him announce the name of the show because we're going to start the show. The first show we're going to do will be actually on a Thursday here in Race Week because we're back on Thursday night for Race Week. So August 17th, our maiden voyage. And so we're going to have that right here. Then after that, we'll be there every Thursday night from 6 to 8. And the name of the show is
the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show.
The Vols, the Hokies, the Bucks, high school, all the big college games that week. We co-hosted with my buddy Dave Andre. It was nice to see backdrop set here, so we're excited. It'll be coming up here August the 17th. We'll be on the show too once you
Well, we'll see how after today's show goes, if people want me back or they want Cletus and Kristen back. I'm a little nervous.
Well, here's your chance to vote.
Call in the 800 number printed here at the bottom of your screen.
1-800 we want Andy.
The line's open for 15 seconds after the show's over.
And 8 seconds for Kristen. 15 seconds. There she is. But 15 seconds for somebody calling right now.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. Wrong number.
We want
Hit ignore.
Andy.
Hit ignore.
They'll leave a message. So anyway, good stuff. The Silverado, you sell pile of trucks. Silverado 1500 crew and double cab LTs, $11,000 off MSRP. Also the Silverado 2500 LTs. LT stands for.
It's just a
I thought it'd been long truck.
no. It's just a branding on the side of it. It's their sort of their middle line truck that has your cloth and power seats and most options before you can get a leather in an LT, but you jump up to a Premier, which used to be LTZ to get, and all the Premiers are leather. But it's sort of these crew cabs and double cabs range anywhere from $44,000 to $51,000 on the double cab and crew cabs on MSRP, and then whichever one you pick that's an LT model will be $11,000 off of that. So
All right, here, of course, on the website. The website is.
www.championjc.com.
Would you secure Miss Martin to come back a little bit later in the show, talk about themselves?
Yes.
I know you have to go off somewhere, give us some
And Cletus may say he want to come back. I don't know.
let's don't forget it. I want to keep hanging on and start
Yeah.
talking and all that because they really like coming up and doing this.
No, they do.
They really did do it. They did a good job. Just Eddie King, Daddy Rabbit, but they really did a good job. People are proud of it. Kristen knocked it out of the ballpark. So there you go. See you next week. You're getting ready to head off. Right?
I'm just going to lunch. I've got a lunch meeting, and I'll be back. The Raiders.
Very nice. I like it. Quick break. I'll be right back, and we will talk to Bill Worrell next year on the Tom Douglas Sports Show live from Champion Chevrolet Show number 556. We'll talk to Coach Worrell next year on the Tom Douglas Sports Show.
This is the place where you can forget all about work for a while and celebrate the good old U.S. of A. And take in the best bumper-banging, fist-waving, hero-making short track race of the year. the Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race. And kids' tickets are just $10. Be there August 19th because it ain't just another race. It's Bristol, baby.
Trucks, and more trucks at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. We have a huge selection of over 400 new Silverados to choose from, with over 700 total Chevrolets in stock, with savings that are bigger than our massive selection. Silverado Double and Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off MSRP. Malibu LT, 20% off. 17 Colorado, $19,995. 17 Equinox, $21,445. Don't miss out on one of the best times to buy a new Chevrolet with savings that will leave you asking, how do they do that? At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Chevrolet, model year closeout right here, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state of Tennessee. Nobody sells more Chevys right here on the Bristol Motor Mile between Memphis and Mountain City than Champion Chevrolet. Obviously on the screen, dear friend, we go back a long way, and our dear friend Coach Phil Worrell, the legendary coach from Milligan College. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out here. And it's we saw each other at the Milligan basketball camp, and I know that he does. I feel like he does a heck of a job. Bill Robinson and his basketball camp does a great job.
That whole staff does a great job, and that gym was full of kids, but every one of them had a special task to do. They had a station for all the campers, and does a really good job with that camp.
Record number. I think he told me 168, 170 campers out there this week. It'll end up again tomorrow. There's one more camp, by the way. I'll give him a plug. It's going to be at Colonial Heights Christian Church beginning on the week of the 24th, week after next. So if you're interested, I know he's got already have about 80 campers lined up there in Colonial Heights. But if you're interested, go to milliganbuffs.com and get your child or grandchild, whatever, get them registered via the email or via the internet and get ready. That's the final camp of the season. It'll be coming up again, as we said, week after next at Colonial Heights Christian Church, obviously in Colonial Heights. Coach, you've been around for a long time coaching this great game of basketball. I guess I told you we're going to talk about the state of the union of this game, and one of the pieces of the puzzle that have come along is the three-point shot. It used to be kind of a novelty, I guess, of sorts when it first got started, but it's not the case anymore. Tell me.
Well, it is a specialization. When you look at how the game's evolved, Tom, go all the way back when I first started coaching, offense was premier at every level. NBA games were 100 or more, college sometimes that high, 70, 80, 90, even high schools. Believe it or not, I coached a high school team that averaged over, I think, 87 points a game, went over 100 3 times, scored 130 one time. My second year at Milligan, which was in early 70s, we averaged 96.8 points a game one year and ranked 13th in the nation. Went over 100 11 times that year. So scoring was really the game is evolving. It's like cycles. It's kind of like fashions and clothes. My daughter said, "Dad, that outfit you got on looks like the 70s," and I said, "Well, actually, it was from the 70s. I'm just keeping it till it comes back again." I mean, these things just go in cycles, and the game went from offensive emphasis, and then with the big man emerged, and you had Bill Russell and Robert Parrish and Wilt Chamberlain and the big guys, and all the colleges were wanting big people, and there was no three-point line, and so the game became very inside oriented, and as a result the scoring went down. The defense became prominent. Games, the average score from pros right on down through high school probably dropped 10-15%. So they decided, and then teams went not just a post player, they wanted two post players. And so the game became 2 posts and 3 perimeter instead of a 2-1-2 alignment. And so then the rules makers said, look, we need to spread these defenses out, so they put a 3-point line in. And that's been, golly, close to 30 years ago now. And when it first started, everybody, guys that were good shooters worked on shooting a 3, so everybody kind of wanted a 3-point shooter and then maybe 2, but it didn't have the immediate impact that a lot of people thought it would as far as stretching the floor is concerned. But what's happened, Tom, is that we've gone through a whole generation, and instead of that being a specialized skill for a player or two, it became a specialized skill for 2 or 3 players, and then not only that, being guards, not only that, then some of the big men started shooting the 3. And so you went to the 3 out with a big man, and then they went to what they call the stretch 4, which is, you hear that terminology a lot, which means one of those post players that we call the 4-man, then he started shooting the 3. And now you look at the NBA championship this year, the Cavs and the Warriors both at times had 5 guys that could shoot the 3. So we've gone through from it being a specialized skill for a player or two to being the major element of the game. And we've raised generations of players that not only did a good shooter work on it, everybody works on it now. And, I was watching in that camp today when those kids are warming up. And you've got kids that were probably 6th or 7th graders out there shooting to begin with. And it used to be every kid wanted to shoot the three, but most of them couldn't. That was just a dream they had, and they'd throw it up there anyhow. Now I'm watching those kids out there at that camp today. There are a lot of kids in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade age level who are not only shooting the three, they're hitting the three. It's just become a part of the game.
We're talking to Phil Worrell, of course, here on the screen, the legendary coach from Milligan College. So the state of the game, I guess. I know you've been around this game for many, many years, continue to have your finger on the pulse of the sport. So in your humble opinion, is basketball healthy right now? Is it not healthy? Is it good, not good? What's your take on it?
Well, I think it's very good. And I'll tell you why. When you look at it from the strategic standpoint, as of course I did as a student of the game as a coach for 43 years, a lot of factors enter in, and defense is one, and how you take possessions and operate within the shot clock realm, and those kind of things all are a part of it. But to the fan, they're not a part of it. What they're interested in is activity and scoring, and I'm a fan too. I love to see activity and scoring. I coach that way, and I think the game's healthy because there's a lot of points, and that's what people want to see. They want to see. They don't want to see a lot of passing and a lot of inside play and a low-scoring game. That might look good to a coach, but it doesn't look good to a fan. So, yeah, I think that the state of it is really, really good.
Offense sells tickets, defense gets championships. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Wins championships.
Yeah, I think it is, and I definitely think it is. And I think at every level, teams that can do both are probably going to be champions. But I will say this. That pendulum has swung more toward the offense than the defense right now, and I do think that the better defense that an offensive team can play wins championships. But I think with the three-point line and the prominence of scoring right now, a really, really great offensive team is going to be hard to stop. There's just it's just too many ways now they can score with the inside outside 3-point. It's the pendulum has swung that direction more than probably any time since way back in the 50s and 60s when teams didn't play very good defense back then.
Has there ever been a team, because I kept hearing this year that the Golden State Warriors were invincible, that nobody can beat them, and they have no chinks in their armor? So if you were the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, in hindsight, which you're allowed to do now since they did not win the World Championship, what would you have done differently to kind of slow down the Golden State train? Because it's a pretty good basketball team, but there's no team out there, I don't guess, that can't be beats. But what would you have done differently if you're the Cleveland coach to kind of slow them down or ultimately beat them? That's the goal.
Yeah, the one thing coach has to do is to understand this: in order to get anything, you have to give something up. That's just the rule of the game. You know, if you want to go to a zone, you're going to give up the outside shot. If you want to go to man-to-man, makes it easier for people scoring inside. Anytime you decide this is what we're going to do, you're giving something up. So for me to answer that question, I would say, yeah, there is probably a better way to defend Golden State. But to do that, Cleveland would have to give up their own ability to score more than they do too. And I don't know if they're willing to do that. I think maybe you go back, they lost the series, although some of those games could have gone either way, and that series could have gone 7 games if they'd have won that second game that they had the lead in and let get away. Yeah, it would be, you would have to change some personnel, you'd have to extend the defense, and you would have to take some more time off of your offensive possessions. See, the thing about defense is this. The definition of defense is don't let the other team score. Well, the best defense really takes place during your offense because they can't score if you have the ball. And there are I could name some colleges that are very, very good at working that shot clock to the point where they're going to take good shots anywhere in that shot clock, but they're not going to worry about it until it gets down into single digits. Well, even though it's only 24 seconds, if Golden State has to play defense for 20 out of every 24, then they're not going to score as many points. Plus, it's going to wear them down. So, they could do that, but then that's not their game. So, are you willing to give up your strength in order to counter their strength? Well, second time around, you might be.
It's like a heavyweight fight. Last question before I let him go. Again, we're talking the film world. Coming up, we're going to hear from Hank Brown, the director of the Crazy Eights Road Race, coming up Saturday night in Kingsport, the granddaddy of them all as far as road races here in the Tri-Cities. Over 2,000 runners will be there on Saturday night. We'll talk to him live here by phone in a few minutes. Coach, out there, you got kids, girls and guys, little people, maybe middle schoolers, maybe high schoolers, want to improve their game. What would you tell them to do? They can take a basketball and work in the backyard, go find a court. They don't have to have a court. They can just dribble in the driveway, whatever. Give me some, what's it take to be a good basketball player? And you can do this on your own time. Sure, that's a team concept, but individually, you can work on your game. What would you tell folks or kids to do?
Well, I would tell folks to tell their kids, number one, the one thing that is always constant in becoming a good basketball player is learning the fundamentals, doing it right. You know, the old adage, practice makes perfect, is not true, because perfect practice makes perfect, but imperfect practice makes imperfect. And sometimes kids just don't know what they should do, and so they do what they see the Steph Curry do, and they want LeBron James do, and those are the top 1% of people. Everybody's not going to be that skilled. So I think know the fundamentals, and then practice everything fundamentally sound, from the shot. Of course, individually, the one thing anybody can do to improve their skill is to shoot, because that's always going to be the number one fundamental basketball that makes a difference. And they have to learn the proper hand position, proper follow through. I was watching out there yesterday. They give them a team ball at that camp, and the team ball has every panel's a different color, so it's multicolored. Well, you can easily see the rotation of the ball because the ball's got three different colors, and you can tell whether. And so many of the little kids, especially, they're shooting knuckleballs. They're shooting a ball up there, and it doesn't spin very much. Well, of course, a good soft shot has got to have some rotation, but that comes from the follow through. So evidently, they haven't learned the actual follow through, which will create that soft spin on the ball. And so I talked to a couple of them about it, and talked to my grandson, because he was shooting a knuckleball. And I also talked to Bill. I said, whoever's your shooting coach with these little kids, this is one of the things that they need to emphasize to them, that if you follow through correctly, that creates a softer shot.
There you go. How many wins under your belt?
I think when I retired, they did all that. It was 680, 668, something like that.
He knows a little bit about basketball. Love this guy. We talk all day
long.
I
can't tell you how many losses.
It's
less than that, though, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. We don't want to know about those. We just know he's got well over 680 some wins, and just a heck of a guy. Still a great student in the game. I know he told me early in the week he was meeting some of his former players that are now coaches, and still talking hoops across a breakfast table. So it gets in your blood, and it runs deep. And I love having this guy on as much as I can have him on, and we'll get you back on again real soon, all right?
Anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Oh, yeah. Great job. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll go to the phone, talk to Hank Brown next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
We're back live with the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, we are live at Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Chevys from Mountain City to Memphis than, of course, our buddy here, again, Andy Dietrich and Tim Copenhagen, the great staff here, and Cletus and all the folks here at Champion Chevrolet. Let's go to the phone. You see on the screen, on the phone, Hank Brown, the director, and Natalie. But Natalie is away doing something, getting ready because it's crunch time. So we got Hank, the director and the founder of the Crazy Eights. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Tom. How are you?
Just fine, sir. It's an exciting time. Again, I want to tell you right up front, it is an honor and a privilege for me to work with you and Natalie in this great race. And I always circle the calendar. It's one of my favorite things every year to do is to MC the Crazy Eights because they put in so much work to make this thing happen. So I'm going to make the assumption out there there's somebody going, huh? What's the Crazy Eight Road Race? If you would, kind of give us an overview of what it's all about, would you please?
Yeah, I'd be glad to, Tom. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine there'd be someone out there that doesn't know about Crazy Eights, but we'll make that assumption. Yeah, this is it's an 8-kilometer race. So 8 kilometers is right at 5 miles for those that aren't into metrics, and it's in Kingsport. During Fun Fest. It's a Saturday night race, so it's unique. Most races are, early in the morning.
Of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed.
Let's go right back to him. We got him. We reconnected, reestablished our connection, if you will, as we're talking to Hank Brown. So folks are moving in there all the time. Of course, it's an area that's growing, and a lot of folks may not know about this race, but it's the granddaddy of them all, and the Crazy Eights. And let's zero right in. You've got, I'm reading the press release, you've got, 7 of the top 10 finishers from the Boilermaker 15K up in New York coming to town. So you've got some of the who's who in road racing coming to Kingsport this weekend. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we really do, Tom. That was, we were kind of watching the results of that race last weekend, and when I went through the top 10, I kept counting. I said, wow, we've got top 3, and I kept looking, and we've got number 5 and number 7, number 8, and number 10. I think we have 7 out of the top 10, and, and that race is really one of the top races in the world, and they really draw a world-class field, and I have 7 out of the top 10, coming right from there in New York to Kingsport. We're pretty proud of that.
Again, we're talking to Hank Brown. Again, we're talking about the Crazy Eights road race coming up on Saturday night. Of course, it's the pinnacle of the event is the Crazy Eights, but there's some other events earlier in the evening, and I know you're going to try something new with Facebook, and you got the Expo and the 3K. Tell us about some of the earlier stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, Tom,
oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we've got the kids races, we call Little Eights at 6:28. Okay, 6 o'clock is I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 o'clock is when the field day activities go on, and then after that we have the Little Eights races, and we got a bunch of different distances for all the way from 2 years old up to 12 years old, and 100 yards and 600 yards, 400 yards, so on. And then after that, at 7:58 is the 3K run walk. That has been just a walk in the past, and we haven't timed it. But this year, you can run it or walk it, and we are timing it. And it has proven to be very, very popular. Numbers are way up in that event, and we got a lot of people that are doing both the 3K and the 8K. So the 8K is the last event of the evening. It's at 8:58 p.m. So we're looking forward to it, and we got a lot of people signing up. Our numbers are trending ahead of last year,
which is a good thing. We're talking to our buddy Hank Brown. So you're going to try this on Facebook this year. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, that's something new we're trying. We're going to try to video and connect it to a cell phone, and then go Facebook Live. Of course, you're the expert on all that, Tom. So we're going to go live and video the elite race. So if anyone is just around, they got their phone, they're at home on their laptop, and they can log into Facebook, go to our Facebook page, the Crazy Eights Road Race Facebook page, right about the start of the 8K run, which will be 8:58, and we'll go live at that point, and they can watch the elite race right there on Facebook. And it's something new we're trying. We hope it works, and we've had some pretty smart people behind the scenes here trying to make that all happen. But we'll see how it works, and if that does work, we hope to even put it on the Jumbotron in the stadium, so we can watch the live the race as it unfolds on the Jumbotron in the stadium, as well as listen to Laura Woods and Steve Wilmuth on ESPN radio while they make the call.
We're talking to Hank Brown again, the Crazy Eights Road Race coming up on Saturday. Tell us about the Expo. That's another part of this that's really cool. Tell us about the Expo, would you please?
Yeah, we're really excited about the Expo this year. Natalie's really worked extremely hard to attract some good vendors, and we hope people will come and spend a little time at the Expo. We're going to be inside at the DB Little Gym, and that's where we're going to do a packet pick-up and registration. So when you come to pick up your race number, just come by and check out some of the vendors. We've got several really good apparel vendors selling some really nice stuff, and then we'll have a few few other vendors outside leading up to that area. So I think we've really increased the quality of our expo this year, and people will really notice and enjoy that. It's a nice feature to add for this race.
And so you look up and down this opportunity, and so we always, hopefully, John Williams will be passing out checks, $10,008 if you set the world record, and it's been done before, hasn't it?
It has been, yeah. We have actually, of course, we set the men's record back in 1996 when Peter Gatuka ran 22:02 and some change, and then we set the women's record 2002 when Asma El-Azawi ran 24:28. She's from Morocco. That record still stands. And the men's record, we have a pending record in Boston that was set in 2014. It hasn't been ratified yet, but we are kind of counting that as the mark to beat. And it was 1 second faster than what Katuka ran here. So 22:02 is the time we need to beat. That means we need to run 22:01 or better. Or while we're at it, might as well go on under 22 minutes.
There you go. Now we're down to 2 days, and last question here before I let you go. Is it too late as of today, Thursday, to still get in the Crazy Eights and, of course, the 3K and everything involved? Can we still do it?
Oh, yeah. We can still register. You can register online tonight till 9 o'clock. So you can go to our website, crazy8s.org, crazy8s.org, and you can find the link to register online to 9 o'clock. And if you miss that, or if you just want to wait till tomorrow or Saturday, you can walk up and register on site at the DB Little Gym on Friday from 4 to 7, and then Saturday from 3 to 8.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. And so we'll be over there helping out with the emceeing and looking forward to being a part of that. Hank, as always, great job, my friend. I know you're busy trying to get everything tied up, these last-minute loose ends, so I'll let you go. And, hey, we'll see you over there Saturday afternoon, all right?
All right, Tom, we sure appreciate you and all you do for us.
You got it. It's my privilege, my honor. My buddy Hank Brown again from the Crazy Eights. We appreciate him very much being with us here on the Tom Daly Sports Show. Don't know why the phone dropped out, but we reconnected and made sure we got the rest of that interview in, and we did, and we appreciate that very much. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back. We'll talk the National Football League, the NFL. We got some news coming out of the NFL, the calm before the storm, before training camp starts for all the teams, including the Raiders. So we'll take a look at that coming up here in just a few minutes. We're live again here at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City, and right back right after this here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. See the hat? See right here on the screen, and see right here the brand new Ultra Orange sugar-free Grip drink. Again, only 5 calories, only 2 grams of carbs, only 5 calories in this particular. 5 calories. Let me put the glasses on. I can read the sugar-free. They got Ultra Orange and Pink Grapefruit. Again, total fat 0, saturated fat 0, cholesterol 0, sodium only 40 milligrams, total carbs 2 grams here in this 14-ounce drink known as the Ultra Orange. Again, sugar-free Grip Ultra Orange vitamin-infused energy drink. It is full of vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, biotin, all that right here, chock full. They're available, of course, at all food cities. Again, the sugar-free Ultra Orange. We will be, by the way, tomorrow on the road at Food City and Euclid Avenue in Bristol, Jamie Vaughn's store, broadcasting live. And I dare say tomorrow we'll be talking more about the Grip Energy Drink, because it's the drink we're proud of, and it's the title sponsor of our show. So quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about the National Football League coming up next here. We're live at Champion Chevrolet, show number 556 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, and 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet, home of the model year closeout sale going on right now. And so they've got some great deals. How good are they? How about this? The Silverado 1500 Crew and double cab LTs, $11,000 off MSRP right off the top. Again, the Silverado 2500 LTs, $10,000 off MSRP. And if you're looking for a car or a SUV, how about the Traverse, the LT Traverses, 2017, 18% off right off the top MSRP. Kristen's working with some folks out here right now that drove in here from the somewhere on the Atlantic coast, a beach city, drove in here from North Carolina to buy cars, and so we'll find out who that is coming up here in a few minutes. It happens all the time. One of the contributors to the upcoming Champion Chevrolet 5-star football preview shows this man right here, and it'll be starting our maiden voyage will be on a Thursday, August the 17th race week, and then we'll revert back once we got to do it that week because we're going to be at the track all week working, and so after that then we go to a Thursday night on August the 24th from 6 to 8, and Carmichael's going to join us by phone. He's going to give us the top 5 games every week of college football, and he's with us here again on this beautiful. Is this the Chamber of Commerce Thursday?
This is the Chamber of Commerce somewhere. It's mighty warm in the area, muggy. But it's mighty warm and mighty muggy all up and down the Atlantic coast. I've made a trip to Duluth or Atlanta, so to speak, for the last 2 days, and it was very muggy down there.
Steamy muggy down in Georgia.
Yes.
There you go. All right, we got all kinds of things to talk about here. Again, let's talk topic number 1, NASCAR. Matt Kenseth since last week. Got kicked at the curb, I guess, and for lack of a better term, by Joe Gibbs Racing. And so he is now looking for a ride for 2018. Eric Jones has been tapped on the shoulder to take over his ride. So what's the take on Kenseth? What's the take on morale of these teams? You still got, of course, the 77 now. Eric Jones trying to win one for Furniture Row. Barney Visser, the owner, says, hey, we're going to have somebody in that car next year, but right now we're trying to get Jones into the championship and the chase. And then also Matt Kenseth, they're doing the same thing Joe Gibbs Racing. But what's that do to morale? You got two teams now kind of up in the air. They don't know where they're going. Well, we know where Eric Jones is going, but Matt Kenseth may be looking for a home next year. But the question again is, if you're on that crew race in and race out from here on out to final races. What's that do to the morale of your team?
I think it probably, at least by announcing it now, you've got everything set. The rumors aren't dragging out the rest of the season. Here it is on the table. Here's what's going to happen next year. Here's what's going to be going on. You know who you're doing with and what. So I think that's, rather than drag it out till maybe Richmond, and then you're like, well, I don't know where I'm going to be next year. And in Kenseth's case, you don't know. And really, his options there's not very many. He's an older driver, so it's not going to be a long-term deal wherever he goes. I still wouldn't be surprised that he ends up a trade. Basically, Eric Jones for Matt Kenseth. That he ends up with Furniture Row for a year or two.
I've heard that now since that's come out over the last couple of days. I've also heard, as I said off air, him taking Junior's spot. He has openly tweeted and openly talked about liking the opportunity to have a chance to be in Junior's seat next year in that 88, the Nationwide Chevrolet. They will want somebody that's got some name power and star power, and certainly he's got it. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Kenseth driving the 88 for maybe a year or two and get William Byron and some of these other young pups up and ready to go, get some more seat time for them in some of the Xfinity races or truck races. But
I'm still sticking with my prediction. Carl Edwards ends up in that seat.
Do you think so?
I think
so.
He'll
be in the 88?
I think had he wanted to go on the TV, the deal would have been made this year, knowing that especially now, knowing that Junior was not coming back, because Junior's going to end up on TV if he wants the gig. He's going with one of the two networks next year. So which one it is? Is it Fox and they move maybe Darrell Waltrip to the pre-race show and move Junior in on the race analysis? Is it NBC to where maybe they move, shift some people around at different places? Maybe they move Jeff Burton out and put Junior with Letard, who was his crew chief. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see as much what happens to the drivers this year as it will be with the announced teams next year for NASCAR.
It's interesting. We're on the Carmichael Guineas with us from the Johnson City Parks and Rec. Pro football. Let's take a look at that. By the way, the Cup drivers will all be in practice tomorrow. We'll be at Food City in Bristol on the Euclid Avenue, but the Cup drivers, everybody's in the Xfinity Series and Cup are in New Hampshire for the running this week. Kyle Busch is the Xfinity Series defending champ from a year ago in July. And then Matt Kenseth, ironically enough, won the race there in July in New Hampshire a year ago. Trucks are off this week. They'll be at Tony Stewart's track in Eldora on the dirt coming up next week. We'll talk more about that then. So that's where we are. And again, we will give you a full rundown. We'll be joined by Pat Patterson tomorrow from Loudon, New Hampshire Speedway, to get a preview there right on the spot, as he does every week from the Performance Racing Network. Redskins and Kirk Cousins have until 4 o'clock Monday to reach an agreement on a long-term contract. Once his deadline for the franchise player is passed, the Redskins are prohibited from signing Cousins, who was designated as a franchise player for a second straight year. Cousins not too worried about it. Cousins playing for a fully guaranteed $23.9 million this season if a long-term deal is not signed. Derek Carr kind of set the bar pretty high, the Raiders quarterback. So, again, Kirk Cousins, they're going to throw the checkbook at this guy.
I don't think he wants to be there. That's been the talk. He wanted to go to San Francisco and play for Kyle Shanahan, and that was the talk all off season, and the Redskins and the 49ers couldn't work out a deal. Now, I think Cousins is going to probably sit there, take the 1 year, and be happy with that, and then either force the Redskins to make a trade next offseason before he become a free agent, or he slips on into free agency. So that's because, the 49ers are not going to be very good this year, and they don't have a long-term answer at quarterback, and Cousins could be their long-term answer, and I think that's what's going to happen. A lot of people thought that the deal would have already been done, and it still could be done. There may be a trade, it's try to maybe before the end of the weekend that you could see something with Cousins moving.
Reaching an agreement will require concessions from both the Redskins and Mike McCartney, the agent for Kirk Cousins. Redskins need to be comfortable not only making Cousins the NFL's highest paid player, which is currently Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, but establishing a new standard in most key contract metrics. Just for kicks, here's some of the current NFL salary standard high water people. The overall contract guarantee right now, Andrew Luck of the Colts, $87 million. The fully guaranteed at signing, this guy made $59 million. Boy named Sue from the Miami Dolphins, fully guaranteed at signing $59.5 million or $59.9 million. Don't want to slide him. Fully guaranteed at signing quarterback, $47 million. Andrew Luck of the Colts. Let's see, anything else? Fully guaranteed within 12 months was $61 million guaranteed in a year for Von Miller of the Broncos after the Super Bowl win by Denver a couple of years ago. So Cousins, is he going to blow out the checkbook? And then you also look at Matthew Stafford. He gets unsigned, the Lions quarterback, and everybody feels like he's going to get a chunk of change too. So where does this end?
Well, it depends on where teams are up against the cap, as opposed to basketball where you can spend into eternity and then pay. Like I saw something, the Warriors in 2 years, they'll be taxed more at the current rate. They'll be taxed more to the NBA than they're actually spending on salaries. Now to me, that's just physically crazy.
They're going to be taxed more than the salaries they're paying out.
They'll be taxed. I saw like $210 million, and they would be paying out $177 million.
Wow!
So you're paying more just to sign these guys than you are to actually pay these guys, and it's like that's the NBA, but the NFL and NHL is a pretty hard cap. The NHL has a salary cap. Major League Baseball, you pay the tags. Most teams don't want to pay it. Yankees will, the Dodgers will, the big clubs will. In the NHL, if it says $75 million, that's what you spend to. You can't go over. You can't go $75 million and a penny. You've got to somehow get it under that. And that's where hockey teams, the balance of players, hockey teams can't keep everybody. They have to make decisions. NFL is kind of the same way, where you have to make decisions. That's why contracts are structured the way they are, and I'm not a contract expert, but that's why that they're structured the way they are. That's why you see decisions like the Tony Romo thing. Do you retire, or the Cowboys cut you at a certain date, and then they only have to pay you so much, and then it counts against the cap maybe for years. I mean, it's the world of contracts is crazy. Just quick example in baseball. Remember Bobby Bonilla? Played for years with the Pirates, with the Mets, Orioles, different teams. Bobby Bonilla, until he gets to be 46 years old, I think it's 46 or 48, it's several more years, he gets paid every July 1st, I think it's over $1 million. He was making more at the time, especially 2 years ago when Harvey and Syndergaard and those guys were hitting. He was making more than those guys. He's making more than most of the Mets players are today, and he hasn't played for the Mets in years. But because they structured that in the contract to pay him, after. Some teams take the bonus, like Von Miller.
Sure.
You take the front bonus, and you take the hit on the salary cap at the beginning. The player gets their money, and then some teams they stretch it out. Like Romo's was a great example. Every year they were having to go back in and say, Tony, let's try to restructure your deal. And Peyton Manning, and Brady, same way. Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I mean, if you just look at number of Super Bowl rings, look at stats he's compiled, you tell me in the free market system, if David Carr or the Carr kid's making $23 million, how much is Tom Brady worth?
Your Carr's making $25 million. You'd have to, if you're all these other quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, going, wait a minute, this guy's not doing anything.
He's making $25 million. Well, like I said, if he's making $25 million, then how much is in the open market is Tom Brady? 40, 50 million? I mean, and that's where. But Tom Brady realizes I can't win the Super Bowl by myself. I've got to have players around me. So I take less, and I maybe stretch my contract out a little bit different and restructure it to where we can bring players in to help us compete. Love Tom Brady, hate Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a smart football player.
Businessman too.
Yes.
Yep, guarantee it.
So
coming up tonight again at Wing Deer Park, the final concert on Thursday night being put on by the Johnson City Parks and Rec. We got Jerry Pierce and the Nightlife Band.
Jerry Pierce taught Chuck Berry how to play rock. Jerry Pierce was a veteran when Chuck Berry was breaking into the playing rock and roll. Jerry, that's just but Jerry has played for many years. If you want to get up and dance, this is your ultimate band. Jerry plays a little bit of everything from old rock and roll to 50, 60 stuff to a little beach music, country. Jerry gives it to. He's versatile. He's a 5-tool player.
There you go.
He's a 5-tool star. He gives you a little bit of everything.
Do you bring lawn chairs? Is there seating there? Do you
bring lawn chairs and blankets and everything, and you stand up. It's should be a nice night tonight. Hopefully,
I would think so.
Hopefully we don't have a late afternoon storm to wash it out, because Jerry's been washed out once already this year. So this is the makeup date on him.
Jerry Pierce and the Nightlife Band tonight again at the Amphitheater, Wingdeer Park, right up the road here again. 7 to 9 o'clock, free concert being put on by the Johnson City Parks and Rec. We're talking to my man again, Carmichael. Let's switch to college football. Steve Shaw, the Southeastern Conference Coordinator of Officials. Some new rules being implemented this year. One of those in an effort to control coaches' sideline behavior. Officials now have the power to issue an immediate 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct if a coach enters the field of play to, quote, question, protest, or otherwise demonstrate disagreement with an officiating decision.
That means you will, Muschamp.
There you go.
Or you, Bart, out in Arkansas. I mean, those are, you never really see Saban go out there on the field very much to scream about a call, but then when you're Alabama, you're as successful as they are, you don't have any calls to complain about.
There are some exceptions. Shaw said, like a coach being invited onto the field for a meeting with officials. However, without said invitation, they will run the risk of severely penalizing their team. There's also a change to the rules about leaping and hurdling on extra points and field goal tries this year in college football. No longer can you run forward and jump over the offensive line to block a kick. So I'm down in the trenches and Carmichael puts his big foot on my back and kind of jump up and block the point after. You can't, if possible, explode from within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, but no more running starts.
That's been a big thing. You've had several instances where that has happened. I know, especially in the Michigan-Florida State game last year, when Michigan blocked the Florida State extra point when they scored with just a few seconds left to take the lead in the Orange Bowl, and the guy jumped up over the line, blocked the kick, and Michigan ran back for the 2-point conversion, which almost cost Florida State the game. Those plays have happened, and they're trying to protect the players as well. Because, I mean, you miss time, you leap, you land on somebody, you get injured. So they're trying to look at protection all they can.
Former Ole Miss coach Houston Nutt has filed a lawsuit against Ole Miss along with the university's Athletic Foundation and Board of Trustees for breaching its 2011 severance agreement. Specifically, Nutt's lawsuit claims that current Rebels coach Hugh Freeze and athletic director Ross Bjork, quote, created a false narrative of Nutt's alleged involvement in the university's ongoing case with the NCAA. He coached Ole Miss from 2008 to 2011, seeking punitive damages for what he calls a smear campaign against him. So more negativity and more negative PR coming out of Ole Miss.
And that's not good. And Nutt has not been back. He's not been back on the scene in college football other than working as an announcer since that's happened. So, who knows if he's got any validity to it or if he's just trying to get an increase on the settlement that was happened when he was let go there. I mean, that's now 2 coaches, because Orgeron came in after he did, and then now Hugh Freeze.
So the finger pointing by the NCAA as far as rules violations, the Ole Miss football program, and also actually the athletic program as a whole, but most of them under Hugh Freeze's watch on the football program. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Is this justified or not?
I think it is. There was a lot of guys that people just could not believe signed with Ole Miss. They were bringing in players from parts of the country that they normally didn't recruit there before. And it's like, well, how did those guys all of a sudden just end up deciding to go to Ole Miss? So I think that's something that will be decided this year. And then this could be something that jeopardizes Hugh Freeze's employment at Ole Miss.
Michael Vick, probably the best football player to ever come through Virginia Tech, at the very least the most exciting. He'll be inducted into the Virginia Tech Sports Hall of Fame on September the 22nd in pregame festivities against Old Dominion. Also joining former linebacker Ben Taylor, baseball player Tim Bueller, basketball player Xavier Dowdell, and softball player Megan Evans. So Michael Vick gets his due at Virginia Tech to go into the Hokie Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the only other football player I would think even and probably as good, maybe better, was Bruce Smith. That was at Virginia Tech, but definitely something that's well deserved. He was definitely exciting. Almost got Virginia Tech a national championship back in the day.
SEC Media Days winding down again in Hoover, Alabama. They're going to be predicting and calling out the divisional winners and all that, the coaches poll tomorrow. But any surprises so far in all the coaches at the podium to this point with the SEC Media Days?
It's just all bland. I mean, I saw a little bit of Jim McElhaney's on Tuesday, and just, they're just giving you the same standard pat answers. Nobody's saying anything that could be used as bulletin board material later in the season. Always just, exciting as a little bit paint dry. Yeah.
Got it. Well, what I heard from the folks that covered Butch Jones up there on Monday said, it was Clichéville, USA, and, he's up there almost defending himself as far as what they've gotten done at Tennessee while he's been there. Michael Wayne says, and I thought this was a crazy quote by one of the sports writers, said, Michael Wayne's in trouble. I said, how could he be? I'm thinking, how could he be in trouble? And this guy's logic, which makes no sense, is Michael Wayne was hired to win SEC championships with his offense. He's been doing these defense, and I'm thinking, well, you moron, who cares? I mean, I'd rather be winning championships with defense than
as long as you're
scoring
getting
80 points a game and not winning anything.
As long as you're getting to the final game. I mean, and right now you're running to an Alabama program that's one of the great programs of all time in college football. I mean, it's, he's eventually, to get over that hump, you're going to have to get an offense in there. You're going to get a quarterback in there that can stay more than 1 year. But to just get you to the game, I think Florida people will be happy as long as he gets to the game. But now, if he runs into a year where it's not Alabama and he doesn't win, then you may have a few people complain. I mean, they complained about Les Miles, for goodness sakes.
How good is Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide against the SEC East? I thought it was an interesting stats. Nick Saban 19-2 against combined Florida, Tennessee, and Georgia over the last 10 years. He's perfect. 10-0 is Nick Saban against Tennessee. Since losing to Florida in the 08 Conference Championship game, Alabama's won 6 straight in that series, including 3 SEC championship games. Georgia has fewer losses against Alabama, but that doesn't make those losses any less painful, as again, Alabama has owned them as well. So you look at this team over at Tuscaloosa and say what you want. They're poised again to make a run the table again. Does anybody in the East have the horses to knock them off this year?
They couldn't. I don't even think they could get an all-star team out of the East to play against Alabama. I mean, that's how good the East is. And that's how good Alabama is. I mean, you couldn't get the 7 schools together and get a good team.
I don't think Tennessee, I keep reading, and again, I go back to this magazine I've been reading a lot on, and just what's coming out of SEC Media Days. Unless I miss my mark, Tennessee may be third best in the East. I mean, we're looking, to me, I think it's going to be Georgia and Florida battling for that championship, because Georgia, you got Sony Michel back, you've got Chubb back, you've got Eason, who had a heck of a freshman campaign at quarterback, is back now as the QB for the Georgia Bulldogs. One of the things they've shored up, the Bulldogs gave up 24 sacks last season, and Chubb and Michel were both routinely hit or forced to change direction in the backfield because the offensive line kept getting pushed back or giving up big holes to get the defensive linemen in the backfield. So they apparently feel like they've shored that up. So you may be watching Georgia make a run here for Kirby Smart.
Right, for this season, especially if they can get any offense going. If Chubb can stay healthy and run the football, they can beat Florida. They can beat Florida and win the SEC East. But for Tennessee being third in the SEC East, it's kind of like being third in the National League East right now, or in baseball. I mean, you've got 2 teams at least another 2 steps ahead of you. And Tennessee fans say, "Well, we beat Georgia last year." Well, you survived. You threw a Hail Mary. How many times are you going to throw a Hail Mary on the last play of the game to win the game? Florida, they did. That's the first time they've done well against Florida in years. But against Alabama, people want to. It's not rivalry anymore. When somebody beats you 10 straight times, it's not. They're not rivals.
No,
they own the series.
Let me run down. Before we go to the break, and we're going to come back and talk a little baseball before I let him go. Let's run down the 3 SEC East teams in non-conference schedule. Tell me which one you think has the toughest non-conference. The Gators will open up with Michigan at Arlington, Texas, Northern Colorado, UAB, and Florida State.
Florida's will be tough because they've got Michigan and Florida State, where I think Georgia just has Georgia Tech and UCLA, or Notre Dame, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Georgia's non-conference schedule: Appalachian State at home, at Notre Dame, Samford, checkbook game. Then they go to Georgia Tech, as David alluded to. So they got at Notre Dame and at Georgia Tech and Appalachian State and Samford. That's their non-conference schedule.
Yeah, Samford, I guess, is probably homecoming to them. And
it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can tell, except who was it? They told McElhaney when he came off the plane, this year Florida's homecoming is LSU. Usually you schedule somebody, and McElhaney said, well, that's the difference. Nick Saban tells you who's going to be Alabama's. I'm told who my homecoming game is.
Yeah, and I stand corrected. It's not Samford. Georgia's homecoming game is against Missouri in October. So,
but still, as close to homecoming game as you can get.
And then Tennessee's non-conference, of course, Georgia Tech, Indiana State, UMass, and Southern Miss for homecoming. So who has a tougher non-conference schedule?
Oh, it's Florida.
Florida.
By far.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida could be, just in the national championship picture. And their conference schedule, I don't know who I guess their rival, I believe, is, I want to say LSU. I guess it is LSU. Their rival, the rivalry game is LSU. I don't know who else do they play in the SEC West.
The Gators?
Yeah.
They'll play LSU, Texas A&M.
That's it. It might be a little dicey there because A&M can score a lot of points. I don't know if they can stop you, but they can score a lot.
Their SEC schedule will be Tennessee at home, at Kentucky, Vanderbilt at home, LSU at home, Texas A&M at home, Georgia and Jacksonville, and they go to Missouri and to South Carolina.
Oh, that's a very good schedule for Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, if Florida can just survive, they should get to the Eastern Division Championship. Now, whether they can make a run at the Final Four in the National Championship depend a lot on how they do against Michigan.
So there you go. Of course, Jim McElwain, 19-8, again in his third season at Florida, 9-4 a year ago. So at 6-2 in the conference, he wins the SEC East, of course. So again, SEC Media Days wrapping up down in Hoover, Alabama. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, talk a little baseball before we let it go. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll check in with Kevin Harmon in talking UT Sports, and we'll take a quick break. Can you stay for another minute or two?
Yes.
Yep. We'll come back and talk to my man Carmichael, talking baseball. Second half of the season starts tomorrow night. A lot of question marks as to who's going to come out of the gate and make a quick statement heading down the second half of the Major League Baseball season. We'll talk to him next year. Again, show number 556 for Champion Chevrolet. Again, thanks to Grip Energy Drink. You're listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. 47. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Took her to McDonald's. We're back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Kevin comes with a little person today. We'll have him on coming up here in a few minutes. If you can, I totally understand. He's got a little mini situation going on, but we got Carmichael here for a few more minutes. Second half of the season, we crank it up and get ready for baseball. It starts tomorrow night. Let's run down the series. Cubs will be in Baltimore, interleague play. Yankees open up the second half of the season. Guess where? In Boston against the Red Sox at Fenway. Toronto at Detroit, Minnesota at Houston, Seattle at Chicago, Texas at Kansas City, Cleveland at Oakland, and Tampa Bay against the Angels in Los Angeles. That's the American League schedule. In the National League, Cardinals will be in Pittsburgh, Colorado, New York, Dodgers in Miami, Washington at Cincinnati, Arizona at Atlanta, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and San Francisco at San Diego. Starting the second half of the season, the two hottest teams in baseball, obviously Houston with the best record in the league at 60 and 29. In the National League right now, the hottest teams we talked about last week, the Los Angeles Dodgers at 61 and 29. So I guess, by percentage points, they have the best record in baseball right now, the Dodgers, with one more win than the Houston Astros. So second half of the season cranks up tomorrow night. What do you think?
I think it stays a lot of what's been going on in the first half. I don't see anybody in the American League that can make a run at Houston to win the American League Championship. Injuries, provided you don't have injuries down the stretch. Houston's solid pitching. They're definitely like Murderers Row hitting, and they've run away in the Western Division, where the Dodgers have had more competition in the West this year. The West has actually been the best division in the National League, with Los Angeles, Arizona, and Colorado. Of the teams I would think would fade away, I would think Colorado. I just think eventually the pitching would wear down in Colorado. Arizona could be a team that could surprise and stay in this thing for a long while, because they do have some excellent pitchers.
Let's take a look at each division as we start the second half of the season tomorrow night. In the American League East, Boston with a 3.5 game lead over New York and Tampa Bay. And the Central, Cleveland with a 2.5 game lead over Minnesota. Kansas City 3 games back. In the West, as we said, Houston's run away with it already. They lead the Angels and the Rangers by 16.5 games. In the National League, Washington leads Atlanta in the East by 9.5. 10.5 back are the Miami Marlins. Central Division, Milwaukee with a 5.5 game lead over the Cubs and the Cardinals. In the West, the Dodgers lead Arizona by 7.5, Colorado by 9.5. So which division looks to be most intriguing in the second half of the season?
The American League Central.
I
think Kansas City, do not sleep on Kansas City winning the division.
Yep.
They've got a lot of guys that are free agents and don't know if you're going to re-sign. If they don't think they're going to, maybe Kansas City makes a deal, tries to win, realize maybe, hey, if we're going to win, we need to try to win now. So teams that you can look at selling, Miami, there's already been talk in Miami about selling Martin Prado to the Red Sox. Red Sox need a third baseman. It makes sense. Todd Frazier played the Cincinnati with the White Sox. He's been the big name out on the market. A lot of teams looking for a third baseman, Boston including. included to come in at the deadline. Justin Verlander, that's been a name also. It's what? But Justin Verlander, star pitcher for the Tigers. It looks like they're almost in a burn the house down mode in Detroit.
Cubs are talking about picking up Michael Fulmer and Daniel Norris. They're looking at Norris for Kyle Schwarber. So what do you think about that one?
I don't know if Detroit is ready to give up on their young arms yet, but Verlander has definitely been one. If he can bring him back 2-3 pieces in a trade to start, it's not going to. You're not going to get a guy playing every day. You're going to have to go to somebody that's got a good farm system that can give you some return on your investment with Verlander. And Chicago was another place that I saw Verlander's name thrown around. So those, the White Sox, the Tigers, the Marlins, I don't think San Francisco will be sellers. I think they're just trying to get themselves healthy to be able to and start to play better to be able to come back next year. I think it's been just a lot of health issues in San Francisco, and I think that's why they have struggled as mightily as they have this year.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael before I let you go. Saturday in the Park coming up this weekend.
Saturday in the Park coming up this weekend. We'll actually be starting around 3 o'clock with games in the gym. If you've got any kind of basketball talent, we're going to do a free throw shooting contest, a 3-point shooting contest, and a hot shot contest. That hot shot used to be a popular game where you shoot from different spots on the court, and they have points for the spots that you make them from. We're going to be doing that from 3 to 5. Games will be going on. There's going to be tennis, lawn tennis, or tennis outside. It's going to be beach volleyball type going on, outdoor volleyball, all kinds of different games. There's going to be a nature hike starting around 6 o'clock. You can park over at Memorial Park and then take a little bus over to Jacobs Creek and do the little nature hike. And then the movie will be starting at dusk, and the movie is E.T. Phone Home E.T.
All this Saturday, and you're starting at what time and where?
Starting at Memorial Park. Like I said, the basketball will start at 3 o'clock, and then everything else will start at 5 o'clock. Unless you're going back, and there will be concessions there all day, starting at 5. That's your only cost. It's concessions. Everything else is free. It's Saturday in the Park. We're celebrating National Park Month.
There you go. Great report, my friend, as always. I appreciate you. Back next week?
Yes, sir. Be back next Thursday.
Going to be the contributor, of course. We're very excited about that. The contributor, the upcoming, again, Champion Chevrolet 5-star football preview. It all gets started right here in the showroom, and we'll start that again coming up, as we said. That'll be coming up on August the 17th on that Thursday. We'll do the first show here from 11 to 1, simply because it's race week, and then we'll kick it into August the 24th from 6 to 8 every night. And Carmichael's will be a big contributor. Right now, going into this first game, the first big game out of the gate, Alabama, Florida State. Does it get any bigger than that?
It doesn't get any bigger than that. It's like Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. It's Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. It's and the wrestling predictions last week. I think I came through on the title prediction with Brock Lesnar. Came through on the Braun Strowman prediction.
You did.
And I think that was about, I can't remember if one of the tag teams, I may have came through on that, but the others I know, a couple of them I didn't do as well.
Great job.
Thanks, sir.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll be joined by Kevin Harmon for a brief visit, I think. Talk a little Tennessee sports coming up next here. We're live again. Show number 556 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. We're live at Champion Chevrolet. Back after this on a Thursday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This is the place where you can forget all about work for a while and celebrate the good old U.S. of A. And take in the best bumper-banging, fist-waving, hero-making short track race of the year, the Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race. And kids' tickets are just $10. Be there August 19th, because it ain't just another race. It's Bristol, baby.
Trucks, and more trucks at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. We have a huge selection of over 400 new Silverados to choose from, with over 700 total Chevrolets in stock, with savings that are bigger than our massive selection. Silverado Double and Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off MSRP. Malibu LT, 20% off. 17 Colorado, $19,995. 17 Equinox, $21,445. Don't miss out on one of the best times to buy a new Chevrolet with savings that will leave you asking, how do they do that? At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
I may not be watching.
We're back live here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are here again at Champion Chevrolet. We're going to run down the model year closeout specials coming up in a moment. He is on a limited time frame. There's a reason why. He has a little person with him today, and so he's doing a little babysitting. And he is our buddy Kevin Harmon, and his buddy is his name Emily.
This is Emily Lavinia Harmon.
Hello, little Emily Harmon. How are you? How old is Miss Emily?
How old are you, honey?
4.
She's 4 years old. There you go.
4 years old.
4 years
Turned
old.
4 on June the 6th.
So, are you Uncle Kevin?
I'm Uncle Kevin.
So, Uncle Kevin's a little babysitting today. I get that. I've seen that movie, front row seat. So,
yes, we had a sudden death, and
I don't like Gremlins because it's scary.
Don't like.
Doesn't like Gremlins.
Before it happens, my mommy turns it off.
Before it happens, Mom turns it off. Good.
Yeah.
Gremlins, we don't.
Gremlins,
watch
no, they kind of scare me too.
Yeah, kind of scare me too.
And my mom used to own a Gremlin, and I actually spun it out one time, but I've never told her that, so I hope she didn't watch it.
Uncle,
And had to really light back in.
Oh.
Okay, so
put that on me.
I can't put that on you, honey.
So this is probably not going to work. I'm saying this is. Do you want to hit the highlights of?
Yeah, they're at the SEC. At the SEC meetings this week.
Yeah.
Tennessee has been predicted third, from what I understand. Georgia 1, Florida 2, Tennessee 3, then South Carolina, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt and Missouri. And on the other side, you have Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Arkansas, then Ole Miss.
Do you agree with the SEC East prediction? What did you say? Florida, Georgia, Tennessee?
Georgia, Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And some have Florida, Georgia, so it's pretty much a toss-up. But, as it stands right now, yes. But, Florida's been able to pull it out the last couple of years, so you really can't blame anybody for placing them number one. Georgia really hasn't proved anything, but they have a lot of talent. And then they have some players coming back like Michelle and Chubb. So, yeah, I would throw them first or second. I would put Tennessee third. You got a new quarterback. You're bringing in a lot of new offensive and defensive coaches on the, your line coaches and things like that. You got a new quarterback. You lost your best receiver. You lost your best running back. So yeah, third sounds about right. But Tennessee has talent behind those guys, so it's possible. Anything's possible. Tennessee has the toughest schedule. We're the only team in the SEC East that play Alabama and LSU. That's a tough draw. So I think Georgia plays. I'm not sure, but it's not as tough as what Tennessee plays.
Went through this just a few minutes ago with Carmichael, so let's run this down real quick.
Okay.
Tennessee non-conference games: Georgia Tech, Indiana State, UMass, and Southern Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
For lunch,
Georgia's.
I am going to Chick-fil-A for lunch.
So you're going to Chick-fil-A?
We're going to Chick-fil-a for lunch.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Eat there, right?
We're going to eat
Georgia's
there.
non-conference: Appalachian State, Notre Dame,
touch that, honey.
Sanford, and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
to
rival.
me, Florida's got the toughest one. They've got Michigan, Northern Colorado, and they've got Florida State. They got Michigan and Florida State in the same year, along with Northern Colorado.
Who do they play on the West?
And on the West, they play LSU and Texas A&M.
That's not easy. How about Georgia? Who does Georgia play?
Georgia plays on the West. They will play at Auburn.
Okay, that's tough.
And Mississippi State at home.
Well, okay, that might be not as tough, but Tennessee has Alabama on the road and they have LSU at home.
Yeah, pretty tough.
That is tough.
Yeah,
and LSU was right after the Kentucky game. It could be a tough win to go to Lexington and beat Kentucky, and then be able to come home and play an emotional game against LSU.
Next time your teeth's gonna fall out. Well, I would. Emily, we don't want your teeth to fall out. Kev, I think
we've had a big day.
We
ate at McDonald's.
There you go.
Yeah. Then we went out to see her dad, who forgot his wallet.
Yeah.
It was just one of those mornings.
Been a morning.
I hadn't had one like this in a while.
Yeah. So.
And so he asked me. He texted me late last night. Wanted to know if I could watch. So I told him yes. But it just never goes as planned. I thought we would be able to get everything. And
welcome to my world.
But she's adorable. I love little Emily to death. And
her mommy works at Helicopter Uncle. So there you go.
Bell Helicopter.
Oh, does she really?
Uh-huh.
Up here in Piney
She's
Place.
a human resources person.
Works at fireworks.
And she bought some fireworks for 4th of July.
There you go.
And we shot them off. And Davis wasn't expecting them to be fired off. And I see he must have jumped 6 feet out of his chair when they lit the first one. Of course, Daddy works as an engineer at the water department.
There you go.
And
Davis jump out of his chair?
Because he wasn't expecting.
Davis was scared.
Davis jumped because it made a loud pop.
Oh, Snickers. So, all right. Next week back in the saddle.
Next week back in the saddle.
Yeah, you're babysitting today. You got stuff to do, so I'll let you go. And I appreciate you even coming by here.
Well, you're welcome. I'm not try not to let you down.
Yeah.
And she likes these Corvettes.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
one of these days.
I don't know if they can open the door and put her in it. But she loves those Corvettes. She says built for speed. She's 4 years old. That's pretty sharp.
They start early. Built for speed.
She goes, this one looks like it's built for speed.
There.
She goes, Mommy's car's not built for speed. Well, neither is Uncle's van. I'm driving B's van.
There you go.
So I can haul her around.
It ain't going too fast either. It's not built for speed.
No, it's got pretty good pickup in it.
It's just built to get there.
Just built to get there.
I'll see you next week.
All right, baby. Thank you.
Go be an uncle. Go do what you got to do.
We'll do it.
See, I like this because now folks get a little semblance of what I deal with all the time on an ongoing basis, trying to babysit and take care of things. So, Kev's with us. Appreciate him very, very much here being with us on the Tom Baylor Sports Show. And so, let's pop that right there. I have to talk, and we got to keep going here because I want to go get something to eat. I may go to Chick-fil-A and have lunch with you. I don't know. You never know. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and run down some more sports for you. Again, we're live here again at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. Yeah, there you go. You see me at Chick-fil-A. Let's run down some sports scores and stories for you before we get out of here. Again, we got a few more minutes. I think we're waiting on... Yep. So, that's exactly right. There you go. So... we appreciate him very much. Hey, Dobbins been a varsity wrestling coach, Buzzy Man, resigning yesterday. Buzzy serving Dobyns Bennett for 22 years. Again, impacted hundreds of young men through his coaching career, and incredibly grateful for his leadership and wish him the very best on his next chapter of his life. So says the athletic director Larry Shively, man who also coached at Greenville High School. Finishes with an overall wrestling record of 439 wins, 170 defeats, and 2 ties. So Dobyns Bennett looking for a wrestling coach. Buzzy Mann stepping aside as the head man in the wrestling program at Kingsport Dobyns Bennett. At Wimbledon, of course, you have the first, Djokovic is out. Murray is out. Federer, the only member of the Big Four still in the field after an elbow injury, forces the number 2 seed to retire. So Sam Querrey of the United States celebrates after beating Britain's Andy Murray on day 9 at Wimbledon in London yesterday. So Djokovic is gone. As we said, you have Murray is gone, and so Roger Federer is the only member of the Big Four that is still out there playing in the singles at Wimbledon. So they continue today, of course, happening again across the Big Blue in London, England. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, want to remind you what's coming up again this weekend. And the Kings of Carnage return to Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, the world's fastest half mile, featuring even more beating and banging this weekend. It's the Thompson Metal Monster Truck Madness presented by Beef O'Brady. Starts at 7:30 on Saturday night inside of Bristol Motor Speedway, and promises an evening of crushing chaos. In addition to the monster trucks, the event will also feature a drifting exhibition by East Tennessee Drift, Team FMX Motocross performing their high-flying acrobatic show, and the popular car-eating monster Megasaurus. All this is the Speedway coming up on Saturday evening. Also Bigfoot, the Avenger, Dirt Crew, Stone Crusher, Hooked, Quad Chaos, Wrecking Crew, and the local Bristol favorite War Wizard. All the monster trucks will be there. 8 trucks will be competing in 2 disciplines, racing and the popular freestyle. Again, fans should be there about 5 o'clock for the Beef O'Brady's pit party to grab a photo beside the massive Bigfoot, meet the 8 monster truck drivers who powered the machines, purchase tickets for the ride in the mighty monster bus, and enjoy the pre-race festivities. All that coming up again this coming Saturday. And so tickets are $20 now in advance, $25 at the gate. Kids 12 and under get in for only $5, and so it is the Thompson Metal Monster Truck Madness presented by Beef O'Brady's coming up again at the Speedway on Saturday evening. Also, want to remind you we're going to be on the road, as we said, tomorrow. We'll be live at Food City in Bristol on Euclid Avenue. And again, the Paralyzed Veterans of America going on now through August the 1st. When you give $1, $3, or $5 donation at the end of your shopping experience at Food City, it all goes 100% into the pot to help our Paralyzed Veterans of America. In the 7th year, Food City's teamed up with these folks, and again, it's a chance for you to give. And to this point, more than $800,000 has been raised to benefit Paralyzed Veterans of America, says Steve Smith, the president and CEO of Food City. And so through the 134 retail outlets throughout Kentucky, Virginia, of course here in Tennessee, and also in North Georgia, over 134 retail outlets in 4 states, and they're all taking up money for the ABLE campaign, which is a dedicated effort to create an America where our most severely injured veterans have access to what they've earned and deserve, which is the care and jobs and benefits. So if you get a chance, when you stop at your local Food City between now and August the 1st, add $1 to your shopping experience, of $3 or $5, and 100% will go into the kitty to help our Paralyzed Veterans of America. And of course, the spokesperson for that organization, the King Richard Petty of NASCAR fame. So it's all good, and it's all going on at all Food Cities between now and August the 1st. Also, I want to remind you about Putt Putt. We've got Putt Putt coming up on August the 3rd. We're inside of a month now for that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. So on August the 3rd, we'll be there broadcasting live for said event. We'll be there for the St. Jude's Putt Putt Tournament. And again, it'll be coming up on Thursday, August the 3rd, which is, 3 or 4 weeks away, I guess. Registration at 5 o'clock, the tournament at 6:30. 4-person team, captain's choice, only $25 a person, $100 a team. Whole sponsor for $50. Again, there'll be food at food at 5 o'clock. Register in advance or day of. There's going to be 3 categories: a pro category, a church team category, or just loyal supporters of St. Jude's. Make checks payable to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. There are currently 90 patients, 90 kids here in our region in just the 4 counties we're talking about, which is Scott County in Virginia, Washington County, Sullivan County, and Carter County here in Tennessee. Again, 90 young people currently using the services of St. Jude's, either here or in Memphis, or here locally with the St. Jude's Children's Hospital here in Johnson City, or at St. Jude's in Memphis. So again, currently 90 patients using the services. Over 21 years, this organization has raised over $1 million for the cause. If you'd like to play, and why would you not? Everybody likes to play putt-putt, have a big time. Please call Tom Jane at 323-2239. 323-2239 is the number to call to, again, get your name on the in the hat or on the list, if you will. 4-person team, captain's choice, $25 a person, $100 a team, and it's a fundraiser, of course, for St. Jude's Children's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll start to wrap this thing up. We'll see if Kristen's available. If not, we're going to kind of roll right out of here and get ready for tomorrow's show at Food City in Bristol. Quick break. We'll run down the specials again here at Champion Chevrolet and begin to wrap this thing up right after this break. We're live at Champion Chevrolet, show number 556 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. And here they are on the table. Here's the sugar-free Ultra Orange Grip Energy Drink. Here is the White Grape Grip Energy Drink. Here is the Pineapple Flavor Grip Energy Drink. Here is the Lemon Lime Grip Energy Drink, all available at Food City on these hot, muggy days. Man, it'll go down easy. In fact, they're going to have a display again at the Crazy Eights Road Race coming up on Saturday. We'll be over there emceeing that event in Kingsport at J. Fred Johnson Stadium. Here's the other new one, the Pink Grapefruit, sugar-free Pink Grapefruit, the 2 newest, and a sugar-free Ultra Orange. I know Al Biker, the PR man, the marketing man for this product, says don't be too surprised in the not-too-distant future. We don't have a tea-flavored energy drink as well. For example, this orange drink, let me run down some of the numbers on the side of this thing because it is really amazing. The calories, only 5 calories in this bottle of Ultra Orange sugar-free energy drink. You have 0 fat grams, no cholesterol, only 2 carbs, sodium's only 40 milligrams. You have in this bottle of Grip Ultra Orange sugar-free energy drink, you have vitamin D, you have iron, potassium, calcium, vitamin A, vitamin E, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, biotin. All this again available. It is natural, flavored, and colored, manufactured, gluten-free, and it's vegan, at 125 milligrams of caffeine per bottle. Lightly carbonated, do not shake, and refrigerate after opening, and it is awesome. They've been selling a ton of these too. Again, the Grip Energy Drink, sugar-free, available again in all Food Cities, and we appreciate them being our title sponsor here of the show. Quick break. We'll be right back. We are live at Champion Chevrolet. We'll run down the model year closeout specials right now at Champion and more right after this here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us here for a few more minutes. Here's the verse of the day. We started and got coming out of the chute with Andy Dietrich, then Hank Brown, and didn't get a chance to do the verse of the day. But here is the verse of the day, and we always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. And so here is the verse out of the book of Psalms. I am good and upright. I will teach you to walk in my paths. Strive to be humble, and I will guide you in justice and teach you my ways, which are mercy and truth. There you go. So that's the verse of the day. Always want to get that in. And normally we start the show with it. We can also end the show with it as well. Also, we want to tell you some NASCAR news. Big story coming out of Kentucky after the race. NASCAR handing out an L1 level penalty, which is huge, to the number 42 Chip Ganassi Racing Team of Kyle Larson. The penalty was for a rear brake cooling assembly that did not meet standards, and Larson's second place finish was ruled encumbered. Huge. In addition, crew chief for Kyle Larson, Crew Chief Chad Johnston, fined $75,000 and suspended for 3 Monster Energy Series races. The team was assessed with a loss of 35 driver points and 35 owner points. Chip Ganassi Racing responded with the following statement when asked about an appeal. Says, quote, "We accept the penalty. We will move forward." So Larson held a 1-point lead over Martin Truex Jr. in the driver's standings before the penalty, which will knock him down to second place now. 34 points behind Truex. Larson still would be 66 points ahead of third-place finisher Kyle Busch. Also Wednesday, Kristen, come on over, young lady. On Wednesday, NASCAR also fined Adam Stevens, crew chief of the number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Team. Yet another week where he gets fined, this time Adam Stevens $10,000 after an unsecured lug nut was found in post-race inspection. Stevens had just returned to top of the pit box following a 4-race suspension for him and 2 other crew members for a tire that, again, coming off Busch's car last month at Dover International Speedway. And so, I don't know what you got on. You smell good. What in the world?
Thank you.
I don't know what it is. But
just lotion.
Lawsy mercy. Let's go ahead and get the camera and get her on because you tired of hearing me and seeing me. Let's get, this is the rose and the thorn right here. So, let's come down here and hit this, hit number 7. Boom, there she is, our young lady, our buddy again from Champion Chevrolet, Kristen Martin, the Champion Chevrolet Internet Sales. Good afternoon, Sunshine. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You have been helping somebody who came in here geographically from where?
Yes, they actually came in here from Sea Level, North Carolina. So they drove 8 hours, they said, to get here.
Sea Level, North Carolina.
Yes.
Drove 8 hours to come by a ride at Champion. What were you selling? What did you sell them?
They bought a certified 2013 GMC Yukon. Very nice vehicle. They were really quite pleased with it when they got here. So
Seaside, North Carolina.
Sea Level.
Sea Level.
Yes.
I'm
yep.
sorry.
On the
Sea
coast over there. So pretty good ways.
8 hours to come here. Wonder how many, I have no way of knowing, I don't guess you would either, but how many Chevy dealerships they pass
Oh, goodness.
between Sea Level, North Carolina and Johnson City, Tennessee.
I would imagine probably more than a few.
Oh, a boatload of them, I
I'm
guarantee
sure.
it. So, from Sea Level, North Carolina, and this happens all the time. Folks geographically come in from all over the place, don't they?
They do. I'm actually selling a lady a vehicle in Michigan as well for her daughter. So
Really?
yeah, they're actually they're picking it up from Michigan, and I'm also working a deal with a gentleman in Louisiana. He's one of the football coaches down that direction.
Oh, really?
Looking at buying a Suburban. We're the only one in the country that has what they want.
So, Michigan, Louisiana, and Sea Level, North Carolina just this week. So
Yes.
This is why they're the #1 Chevy dealer between Mountain City and Memphis. They do an incredible job. You see on the screen, she works in internet sales here at Champion. So, tell me how all this works.
Well, what happens is if you go on our website, of course, championjc.com or championcadillacjc.com, and you're able to narrow down the vehicles that you're looking for, whether it's pre-owned or, you can even narrow it down just to the certified if you're specifically looking certified. And then also the new vehicles, you're able to look at those, narrow it down. We put a lot of our best prices right on the website. Makes it really simple for everybody because you're able to get on there, see our best price, call us, and we can secure everything and come in and sign and drive. So it makes it real simple.
So, Michigan, just this week, just today, Michigan, Sea Level, North Carolina, Louisiana.
Yes.
You also, Andy's told me in the past, you go to the airport and pick people up when they fly in to come
We
in.
do, actually. We sure do. The people that are from Louisiana, they'll probably